Hey there, pal. Welcome to the Home for Anime on the Falling Star Catcher YouTube channel. My name is Cameron. I'm the host and founder, and it's good to see you. I hope you're doing well today. So, I've been watching movies a lot more than I usually do lately, and I figured I'd just like to give a few quick thoughts on three that I've seen so far that I've been particularly impressed with. So, the first one that I saw that I really enjoyed is, let me just double check to make sure that I don't mispronounce this because there's a symbol in a specific place. Milky Star Subway, the Galactic Limited Express. This is a movie that is currently on Netflix, and what's fun is that it's actually a compilation of a short series that is available on YouTube, just with some added scenes to provide further context. I have not seen the original show, but I can say that I enjoyed the movie quite a bit. I really enjoyed it was a cute animation style and art style that they went for. And the story itself, which is just these kids who are juvenile delinquents and are forced to do some sort of community service by cleaning out a train. The train goes haywire because it's the future, and some of these kids are cyborgs, and others are, well, I don't know how to categorize them, but we are in this era where basically AI takes over the train. There's more to everything than meets the eye, which I found to be fascinating. All of that is well and good. I thought that it was very engaging. But the reason that I wanted to bring this particular movie up is because I found it to be exceptionally funny, not just because of the witty dialogue, but also it feels very real. It feels very believable, and it's also very snappy to the point of being frantic. These seem like conversations that you would hear real teenagers having and disgruntled police officers having. And it just makes for a good time, especially because right after one person talks, another person immediately talks. Sometimes people are talking over each other. And in a situation like this, where it wouldn't feel natural for one person to talk followed by another person because we're in a town called Panic. It works. It works really well here. And on top of that, because everyone's freaking out, but also because they're, well, juvenile delinquents and the police officers are young, everyone has there's this generational divide, but at the same time, there is still this youth that is present, kind of like Gen Z versus millennials. And so everyone has their own brand of humor that is brought to this, their own slang and their own energy. So seeing those two collide, where you basically do have these cops saying, I don't know how to handle these damn kids. It's fun. It's funny. It's cute. And if you have Netflix, then I would recommend watching it. Of course, you can watch the original show, but to know that the movie provides additional context that to me made it feel coherent, I would say just watch the movie if you have access to it. The second movie I want to talk about actually is not anime. It's the new Anthony Bourdain movie called Tony, and it follows a young Anthony Bourdain. I believe he was 19 years old, where he pretends that he's gotten this writing fellowship. He doesn't know what he wants to do with his life, and he's kind of just a young punk who's just kind of moving along with life, but he's also a jerk. And he follows this girl that he likes to Provincetown in Cape Cod, and his aim is weird. You kind of think this whole time, okay, Anthony, this is borderline stalker behavior, what you're doing here, but I get it. You didn't get the fellowship that you wanted. Your life is not going in the direction that you wanted to. It seems like you just want some direction, and maybe you think that this is where you're going to get some help. And he sees this girl that he followed all the way to Provincetown, booed up with another guy. And he gets drunk. He goes to this bar restaurant where he gets drunk and basically gets clowned on and gets his ass beat for harassing the bartender to which he meets Antonio Banderas' character, who was Anthony Bourdain's initial mentor and the person who got him interested in food and in cooking. And it's there where we see the growth of this young man. Now, biopics don't typically interest me that much, but I have to say this was very engaging. This was very heartwarming to watch because I think that stories of growth are always impactful. And I also think that doing it through food, which to me is a universal language, really made it all the more better because of course people talk in this movie, but it seems like all of Anthony's growth, or Tony before he is known as Anthony, in this movie, all the connections that he makes are through food in one way or another. His mentor is teaching him different things about seafood. He gets his heart broken over the girl who's working at a pizza shop. He sees her and her, is lover the right word, at the pizza shop. He's evolving, and everything that he goes through, his highs and his lows emotionally, that I think all contribute to growth, happen because of food. And if you know Anthony Bourdain, who was this famous, he wrote a wonderful book, he had a great show, he loved food. It's like he lived for food and culture. So seeing that this is where all of that arose from and where it got him to, I think that that's fascinating. If you like Anthony Bourdain, if you like cooking shows, cooking anime, since this is an anime channel, I would say that this is something worth watching. This is one of those great origin stories, I guess you could say, that really makes it makes someone immensely more likable, especially because, and this is funny, at the beginning of the film, there is a quote from Anthony Bourdain himself, who, towards the end of the quote, I won't say the whole thing, says that his younger self was in desperate need of an ass kicking. And he got it. He got it in multiple ways. And so I would recommend it. It's a wonderful movie. It comes out later on this month. And yes, kudos to everyone who was involved in the making of that film. And the last film I want to talk about, I went to go see Tekken Concrete. It was probably about a month or two ago at this point. And I had been debating, do I make a full episode on this or do I just make something else? Is it going to be a short? But I figured I would talk about it here. Tekken Concrete, which is actually now available on Blu-ray, is a very compelling story to me. I don't think that it is I guess the word is deep in the subtlety realm, but it is quite compelling. It follows these two boys, one named Black, one named White, and they're basically finding their ways through this city, the one that Black thinks that he owns. And there's this duality between the two, where Black is more violent, he's more, the streets are my home, and I guess you could say impure. And he's the older one. White is the younger one. He's seen as more pure, he's seen as untainted. He has this kind of divinity that helps him watch over Black, where they feel like they are basically two halves of one whole. So having that moral compass is kind of what keeps Black on the track that he is meant to be on, though there is, of course, the conflict of, well, where is that in this city that is full of corruption, pollution? It doesn't necessarily seem like a city worth saving, but when you have these two kids where this is all that they know, of course, you know, this is their jungle, this is their playground. And as things are getting worse in this film, which is basically the entire premise, what happens when corporations try to take something. It's gentrification. It's basically gentrification, except with amusement parks, trying to make a super city out of something that doesn't need to be that, misplacing people and making the place something that it isn't. What do you do when that's happening to your home, especially a home that you think that you own, which is the case for Black? And the entire film is basically the brothers, I call them brothers, getting into trouble, getting into these intense situations because Black has that mentality. And I found it just to be a wonderful experience, a great film that it makes me think about how much we actually need people. And I'm not saying that in a symbiotic sense, but it's great when you have somebody who can support you, and in everyone has a different way of doing this. It's great to have somebody who can hold you accountable for the things that you do and that you don't do, and try to reel you back in. Not saying that in a toxic way of, this is, your job to do this for this person for the rest of their lives, but hey, I love you. I care about you. I don't want to see you fall here. I think that you have so much more that you can offer. And seeing all of that together, seeing these two try to be inseparable, which is inherently in their nature, seeing them go through what they go through to get to the end of the film, which is, I know it's 20 years old, but it's still definitely worth watching. It was a very compelling journey. Not subtle, but compelling. So if it's available on streaming, I'm not sure if it is or not. I would say give it a watch, but the 4K Blu-ray has been released by GKIDS, and I 100% intend on getting my own copy once I get the funds. And yeah, those are the three things that I wanted to talk about. Again, just couldn't think of a way to make full episodes on them, but I still think that they're great films in their own right. And I hope that you get to watch one, if not two, if not all of them. But that's it from me. And I hope that you guys take care, and I will see you next time. Bye.